WWE Monday Night Raw, January 20th, 2025 results. We are on the road to WrestleMania. We are on the road to Saturday night's main event and the Royal Rumble, yet they did something that I still don't know why, how, or under any circumstances does it make sense, but yet they did it. We're going to talk about that and much, much more in today's video. So WWE is a few days away from Saturday night's main event, and they opted to book a super duper random match with Rhea Ripley, our women's world champion, and Nia Jax. Do you know how they started off this build? Do you want to know how they started off this feud? At the beginning of the show, Rhea Ripley, a few weeks removed away from winning the women's world championship from Liv Morgan, she was entering the building, and all of a sudden Nia Jax, our former WWE Women's Champion, who's been beaten like a drum as of late, she jumped her, attacked her, for no good reason. So, fast forward later in the night, Nia Jax, who, by the way, is a SmackDown star, Bayley, who had been a SmackDown star, but has transitioned over to Raw officially, they work a match. Yeah, two SmackDown stars on SmackDown, coming over to Monday Night Raw. And we see Bayley versus Nia Jax. Now, this was set up in a backstage segment. Nia Jax interrupted Bayley to set up this match. Roxanne Perez, former NXT Women's Champion, she was sitting ringside for the contest, and she got involved and cost Bayley the match. It was a distraction finish. Nia Jax went over. Fine, great, whatever. Now, after the match, we have Rhea Ripley, and she comes out there and she attacks Nia Jax. And then she challenges her at dumb babyface syndrome to challenge Nia Jax to a match at Saturday night's main event. What have we done? Now, I don't know as of recording this video, and someone will correct me down below, we don't know if this is a title match as of right now. If it's for the title, it makes no sense. I'm going to assume it's a non-title, but either way, Rhea Ripley is not going to lose this match. My question is, what did Nia Jax do to earn the championship match? She's been losing as of late. Also, she's actually lost the women's championship to Tiffany Stratton. She lost the Fatal 4-Way number one contenders match a few weeks ago. And then last week on SmackDown, she lost a tag team match. So you can just go around attacking other brands' champions. Oh, by the way, there's not a storyline explanation as to why she's on the show and why she was booked in a match on the show. Like, it made no sense, and it just comes across as, well, we need someone for Rhea to beat at Saturday night's main event, so here comes Nia Jax. That's what it feels like to me. And that's what it is. Let's circle back to the opener. So after the attack angle, we had Jey Uso. He kicked off the in-arena portion of the show. He hyped up his upcoming World Heavyweight Championship match with Gunther at Saturday night's main event, only for him to get interrupted by Gunther, who tells Jey that he's a useful idiot who talks about betting on himself but just runs to the aid of friends whenever is needed. Uso said that he's proud to be a mascot and that the crowd is his team. He taunts Come Through about having to gotten another chance to headline WrestleMania, something which Gunther has not been able to do in his very impressive yet short WWE main roster career. They were all Uso got the better of him, stood tall. What does that tell you? They need to build up Jey. Gunther is obviously going over. Everyone and their mother knows it, and that is what they're doing. I've said this before. I think I said this on last week's review. I like the spot. I do. Obviously, Jey's not going to win. But Gunther, Saturday night's main event, it's a good rub. It's better than him just going and teaming up with his brother Jimmy, right? Clearly, he's not going to beat Gunther for the world title at the show. No one expects it. But at the end of the day, you are getting a spotlight. You are getting a rub. It is a big-time match on a big-time show with a big-time opponent. Sometimes you just got to take it. WWE insists on doing this with Jey. I can't just repeat myself over and over and over, even though I'm frustrated with it. They're going to do this type of stuff until they book Jey to win the world title. I think it'll eventually come. I don't know against who. I don't know when it's going to happen. But I have a feeling it's eventually going to happen. We just have to wait our turn, essentially. We had a appearance from JBL. I briefly want to touch on this. So there was a backstage segment with Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods. They run into old WWE Hall of Famer or JBL. And JBL gave them a backhanded compliment about Big E having more charisma than the group, being more likable than the group, etc. New Day said that they were hoping that they had found an ally. The supposed tag team match for this week had turned into a singles match because between Kofi and Ray, with JBL on commentary. Ray went over Kofi after the match. Xavier jumped Mysterio. Cruz Del Toro and Walking Wild hit the ring to make the save, but Woods and Kingston got the upper hand. So that was that. We had a very interesting Sami Zayn segment. So he came out and he declared himself for the Men's Royal Rumble match. He joins the likes of Punk and Cena and Rollins and Drew and a bunch of different guys. And he said that he doesn't need to win a world title, but it is something that he wants to do. And he's going to fight for it. Now, Kevin Owens, our uncrowned, undisputed WWE champion who walks around with the Winged Eagle belt, who's challenging Cody Rhodes for the actual undisputed WWE championship at the Royal Rumble in a ladder match of all things, he comes out. Now, Sami, he's surprised by this. And he's surprised that Kevin isn't mad at him for teaming up with Roman, considering, that's why Kevin and Cody Rhodes are feuding right now. Instead, Kevin says that he believes Sami Zayn will win the Royal Rumble because he has his back, and says that they can main event WrestleMania if Sami has his back. So basically, you help me, I'll help you, I can beat you, you know I can beat you type of thing. It's building off of their real life scenario. They're obviously, a few years ago, they headlined night one of WrestleMania, dethroning the Usos as the tag team champions. So a lot of history here. We'll see how all of this plays out, but it was definitely interesting. So briefly, Penta, he worked his second match. He went over Pete Dunne. I didn't think it was as good as his debut match, but he's still over like Rover. They're taking their time with this guy. Let him go out there every single time. Let him get out there and prove his worth. Show the people what he can do. Now, I will say this. They didn't have him do any promo time after the match, which I was a little surprised by. I think you should give him a minute or two every single week just to get those reps, right? Because there's not many opportunities with no house shows and everything like that. Get more reps, but this was a showcase match, and I was actually very, very happy with it. CM Punk did a unique promo, so he came through the crowd, and was in the middle of the crowd, essentially, with Jackie Redmond. And he teased cashing in favors to win the Royal Rumble. He said that Sami Zayn's not on his level, and even mentions that he will throw Hulk Hogan over the top rope and kill Hulkamania for good. This was an absolute fire, classic CM Punk babyface promo. There's not much that you need to necessarily go out of your way to see on this show. This promo was money. Now, I don't know if he's necessarily going to win the Royal Rumble. I would go with everyone and their dog and say that, John Cena is going to win it and go on and challenge undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes to the top WrestleMania 41. But this was money. Main event. So Seth Rollins beat Drew McIntyre in a very good match with a roll-up. After the match, Drew McIntyre lost his cool, beat down Seth Rollins until Sami Zayn ran down to make the save. The only problem is Sami, he accidentally took out Seth Rollins to end the show, and it built further tension heading into the Royal Rumbles.